I trust you're well. Today I preach with Isaiah 1. It's a call for Kenyans. It has been going on for a long time. It's a series on a call for us to be good. And as I've been preaching it, it's in line with our constitution, the chapter we call chapter 6 on integrity. Because what is integrity? Just being good and doing what is right. And the same doing right and being consistently choosing what is good is what we call in character development as being a good person or being good. And it's something that when you're looking at leadership, most of the authors have said that most of the people and in the world we lack leaders, because leaders, if they don't have that part of moral development, which is the character development, where they are morally right, they are able to choose what is good consistently, then that is where we fail to get good leaders. But if as a person you can consistently start doing what is good, I know most of us are really invested in learning and getting to understand who is a leader and how to become a good leader. And that's why you find even online topics on leadership sell very much. But the simple idea behind a good leader is just being fair. And how will you be fair? By doing what is good, what is right, and avoiding bias. So when we say that, and by the way, this topic God insisted that we teach. I know that we are saying change is inevitable, and even as Miles Monroe has written in his books, that the only constant in life is change. And as you can see, whatever is happening in Kenya and in Africa, change is inevitable. Change is coming. By the way, we are at that point of change. And it's a call for all those that are in power, those that are in leadership, whether in church or wherever, to understand that the seasons have changed. And there is one of my videos I called on to the older generation to co-work with the young, so that we can, you can guide the young people, not to crush them, but to perfect whatever they want to do so that it can work well, so that they don't have to make mistakes. And by the way, it's only the leaders, current leaders, whether political or in church, that are willing to adjust, that will survive the change that is coming. Anyway, as I was preparing today's message, the heaviness kept on coming on a call for Kenyans. God is calling out Kenyans. God is calling out Kenya. And the only way we can co-work with God is by being good. And my preaching today is backed up by Isaiah 1. So let's see the whole chapter. You can go and read the whole chapter, but I'll just keep on, I'll talk on the verses that I felt we are talking to Kenyans and to Kenya. When you look at verse 3, it says, "My people do not know their honor." And there the writer compares, this was a voice from God. Actually, it was a conversation between Isaiah and God. Isaiah and God, where he says, even oxen know their honor, but my people do not know their honor. And as I was meditating upon this verse, I realized this is so true about us. There are times when you are given a message to a man of God, and the funny thing, it's not the man of God that comes crushing you or sending backlashes on you. It's the people under him. And I've been meditating on this and wondering why that is the case. But I've also realized when there are wicked systems that some people are benefiting. For example, you are a pastor in a church where the big guy is a false prophet or a false teacher or a charlatan or not representing God. But because you are used to the system, you eat from the system. You know it's the one that pays your bills. You can see that whatever is being said has some sense. It has truth in it. But because you are used to, you can't imagine yourself leaving that church because that's where you get your salary, that is where you get to pay your bills. You are so scared of letting go that even when you know your honor, you are not willing to follow God. We have elevated human beings above God, and it's the same thing today. Even our leaders today, our political leaders, there are some leaders that you cannot touch because they have an army under them. The leader will not even bother what you're saying, but the followers will come crushing you. I'm not envious of them or in any way saying that they should not be there, but can we have some sense and know that there is God above every human? And even the Bible tells us that cursed is the man that trusts in a man. And never be 100% sure of anyone. And if you truly love your leaders, present them genuinely to God. Pray genuinely over their lives, and God will guide you on the best way. Because there are some leaders that even if you pray for them to continue being in power, God will not keep them. But you could pray, and because you love them and genuinely love them, God can rescue them so that they don't end up in a hellfire. So let us, it's just like stages of, in life, you can go through processes that you find you are reducing your bare minimums when you're negotiating. So don't just negotiate foolishly. Pray the wisdom of God so that if there is a leader that you truly love, hata wenye wako kwa makanisa zenye ni za false prophets, if you really love that false prophet that much, that to the extent that you can abuse someone else on their behalf, badala ya kwenda hiyo njia, instead of abusing people for the sake of your prophet, genuinely go before God, and God will reveal to you how you can help them and how you can rescue them. And those that are gone cases, God will tell you, leave them alone. So instead of being bitter and trying to defend people, just seek God more, seek God more. The second thing, strangers, that is number 7, verse 7, strangers devour your land in your presence. For a long time we have been devoured. You are in your own country, but you do not know how to survive because of the systems of strangers that have devoured us. But how can we how can we change this? We can only change by being different, by knowing who our owner is. We cannot continue in fear and in cowardice. We have to arise, but not to arise just in foolishness. We need to arise and know who is our owner. And our owner is standing for what? That's why we are still coming back to being good and doing what is good. Number 9, if God had not left a remnant, we would have been destroyed. So we thank God for His help and for the remnants. And number 11 says, you offer futile sacrifices. That is from around 11 to almost 14. Instead of us sacrificing blindly, we need to pause our sacrifices and see whether we are doing what is right. Do we know our honor? Are we operating in fear? Let us overcome it first. Then number 15, God says, your hands are full of iniquity. When you call me, your hands are full of bloodshed. When you call me, I hide myself. So we need to and number 16, wash yourselves clean. It's our responsibility to sanctify ourselves, to look inwardly. What do you need to be able to know who is God and who is your owner? You might need to read the word so that you may learn to trust God more and to rely on God other than man, and to disassociate. Even when you are in God does not say that we should not have leaders above us. No, we should have them, but having a leader should not make you senseless. You should have your common senses. You should have because the laws have already been written in our hearts. You know what is good and what is bad. We should pursue goodness at all costs. And as we remember, cleansing is your responsibility, because even we see in another verse where God says, where we are told that the vessels are of different materials. But even if a vessel is of clay, if it cleanses itself, if it pursues to, and some of the cleansing and some of the processes will require tough times. Pruning. It will require, pruning is disciplining, which is not easy. Alignment. As this is happening, then you are doing your part, and now from there God will use you, because in coming days God wants to use Kenya in a big way, and that's why it's a call for Kenyans to be good. Imagine by just being good, you're cleansing yourself. Not the whole community. We only need one person. If you are the only person in your family that God can use, that's a very big resource for God. So don't start looking at big positioning, just in the small ways, even in the office, in the marketplace. Kama ni soko mahali na wewe ndio Mkristo, that market can be rescued because of you. Remember, we have seen there in number 9 that it's because of the remnants that a city is not destroyed. Remember, even in Sodom and Gomorrah, as Abraham was negotiating with for their survival, they tried looking at whether there could be a remnant, and they failed in that. So be that remnant that will secure your village, your estate from destruction. So as we cleanse ourselves, it's our responsibilities, but in as much as our responsibilities, we can call God for help. On number 17, that's verse 17, learn to do good, the good that we are talking about. Seek justice, rebuke the oppressor. Na hapa ndio tuko na mashida. Watu hawataki kuambiwa when you're going on the wrong, and especially those that are pursuing the people that are telling them what is right. Let me tell you, I teach, I'm a corporate trainer, and normally I warn people, it's very good when people give you feedback. At some point, if they stop giving you feedback, then it means they don't care what happens to you. So if people are still giving you feedback, it's because they still hope that you can change and be better. So it's our responsibility to rebuke the oppressor, to seek justice, to defend the fatherless, to plead for the widow, and also to be, this is my own addition, to give a guidance to our children and generations to come. And that is in the part of whatever we call inheritance, leaving something that can be wealth for generations to come. And one of the wealths is in character development, and this is why we are calling for goodness. I think this is the greatest part of character development, because the others are built on that. And it would be my urge, if you are a preacher and you come across this clip, because God has been insisting on us to teach what is good. Even I know Kenya has a lot of resources that God has built among people, capacities and guidelines to even success and other areas of life. But God commanded that we hold on the other teachings to pursue a call for goodness, because it is this character that will make you to be trusted with a lot. And as God is aligning the country and positioning his people, goodness is a key. Because where we have failed, corruption is because we are not doing what is right. We are not being just. We are oppressing. We are not caring for the fatherless, that's the orphans. We are not pleading for the cases of the widows. We are unfair to them and everything. That is everything that surrounds corruption. And that's why the corrupt breed, you either shape up or you will be pushed out. Then, so let's preach on goodness, and let's not bother too much about who is aligning on who is not. This is a personal call. You align yourself. Who knows, you might be the one that will rescue wherever you are. Then on number 8, verse 18, God says that I will forgive your sins, although they are so dark. And 19, he promises that if you do this, you shall eat the good of the land. And that's where I want to end. And I want to link it up to our national anthem, chapter 1, the first stanza, which says, "O God of all creation, bless this our land and our nation. May justice be our shield." See the justice that God is calling us on verse 17. Justice be our shield and our defender. May we dwell in unity, in peace and in liberty. How will we be liberated? By ensuring that, number 7, strangers do not devour our land. And also, liberty is like freedom. You cannot continue to elevate men above God. That is something that we have to work on. Then after that, God promises that you shall eat the good of the land. And that is our last verse in that stanza 1 of our national anthem. Then plenty will be found within our borders. So the formula is clear. Let us be good. God is willing to co-work with us. It doesn't require big numbers. It just requires a small amount of remnants. You know, God is not a show-off. He's not a worker with multitudes, but that small number, that small but enough number of remnants that are willing to align themselves with goodness, then God is willing to position for greatness, so that it can be the shielding for Kenya, so that plenty may be found within our borders, that we may be able to leave a legacy of goodness and a way of life that pleases Him for our generations and generations to come. Thank you and be blessed.